Hi, everyone. Lisa Myers, the Business Owner's Advocate, and I'm doing this business setup. This series, I'm going to be bringing you different aspects on how to set your business up. And if you've already got a business, then hopefully there'll be some new tips and secrets that you may not be aware of. And you know what? I'm just here to really provide a service. One thing I know is that when I started my business, I had no clue of what I was doing, and I didn't have training. I went to trade school, I went to cosmetology. They taught me how to pass my licensing tests and not necessarily how to build a business, how to get clients. When I got out in the business field, 90 days out, I was owning my own business. And again, I had no clue. One of the things I found out is that legal services can be very, very costly, and you don't necessarily get a good attorney. I ended up actually being in a dispute over my lease. What happened was one of my technicians married the landlord's son, and through that, they decided that the new parents decided that my salon would be a perfect fit for their new daughter-in-law. I got a 30-day eviction notice, and I had 2.5 years left on my newly remodeled salon. And I wish that I would have known about the services that I'm going to share with you now. Back then, I hired first one lawyer that I had met through a business networking group. And he said, sure, I can help you. It'll be $700 a month on a retainer. And I had him on a retainer for 8 months. A lot of different things happened. And he said, he sent me a letter saying, hey, I'm sorry, I can no longer represent you. I've been hired for a district attorney. Good luck on your endeavors. Never talked about returning any money. I think he probably sent out maybe 2 or 3 letters during that 7 months. And just left me hanging high and dry. So I met another attorney. What do you do when you don't know attorneys? This one, we ended up, I started paying him a retainer, and we had a court date on a deceased, and my attorney didn't even show up for court. And this was after paying him for months. And so what do you do when you have a bad attorney? Do you go to another, I went to another bad attorney. And finally, I went to another one. And he said, this case is going to go nowhere. And it cost you $10,000 just to go into court. There's no guarantees that you would get any compensation. And I said, fine. How much is it going to cost me to make it go away? And he says, I'll write you a letter, and that'll be $500. So I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And actually, because of that and bad choices that I made through all of that, it actually put me into business bankruptcy. I learned a lot. But one thing I learned was that legal coverage is essential, and having a good attorney is super essential, super vital for your business. And attorneys, we know, cost a lot. And so most of the time we try to do it on our own. And that's not a good idea either. So I found out about LegalShield probably about 8 years after the situation I had. Had I had LegalShield, none of this would have happened. It would have been a completely different story. So that's one reason why I'm passionate about it. And I just want to share with you this coverage. I'm not, it may be something for you, maybe not, but at least take a look at it. So first of all, one thing that LegalShield does is that they have created a process to make it simpler, easier, and more affordable. So literally, they have disrupted the legal system by creating an app And I'm going to show you the personal service with a home-based business rider. And then I'll also show you the plans for small businesses as well. So here you can see that on this app, you can call your law firm. You can actually have a will if you've got a traffic ticket, and we'll get into a little bit more. One thing LegalShield is their vision is to provide equal access to liberty, equality, opportunity, and justice that every human deserves. And I would agree with that. LegalShield is in Ada, Oklahoma, and they have been around since 1972. So this is not a gimmick. They have, it was actually set up by the founder, who was an insurance agent. And so it was set up in essence, just like insurance was. They take care of over 4.5 million lives in the US and Canada. And they've got a dedicated network of quality law firms in all 50 states and all Canada provinces and territories. So that means that if you're signed up, not only are you taken care of in the state that you're in, but also all the other states. So I'm here in Utah. If I have a situation in California, then my Utah law firm will connect me with the California law firm where I can have answers. And it really helps if you've got businesses in multiple states as well. So a lot of times people say, you know what, I would never use an attorney. I don't need one. But let me ask you, have you ever signed a contract, right? In business, you have multiple contracts that you have to sign. In fact, for your insurance, they require you to, if you've got any type of business, that you should be having contracts, whether it's for your clients or customers, whether it's for your services or products that you're selling, as well as, you know, leases that you're working with. So landlord-tenant issues. Have you ever been, overcharged? Do you need a will updated? What about real estate transactions? Or are you worried about identity theft? And we're going to touch on a lot of those. So one thing about LegalShield is a membership. And what that means is that collective revenue from each state based on the membership size is how the law firms are paid. So every law firm is paid anywhere from 6 to 7 figures a month is automatically deposited. Now, one nice thing is they have a rotating 60-day contract. What that means is that if that attorney or that law firm is not taking care of the members and they're having complaints, then LegalShield can literally move to another law firm. And they've got law firms that are just waiting to take over. So the tenure in pretty much all of the law firms is over 15 to 19 to 20 years. And so we've seen law firms, Idaho, they fired the law firm, they brought in another law firm. And so, you know, that's one nice thing is these lawyers are vetted and they take care of you and you're their number one client. And it's all about servicing the clients and not how much it's going to cost. So with this membership, you get personal legal advice on unlimited matters, whether it's on family issues, whether it's on tax issues, whether it's on legal issues, whatever and anything that you can think of. Even if you just got a certain question, you know, I'm not sure about this. You can call them up and just say, I need advice on, or I've got a question about. Letters and phone calls made on your behalf. So for instance, my grandson, he was moving out of his apartment because of COVID. He graduated early. And so he still had a month left. They had everything was paid up. They took video of the apartment because the landlord was too busy to come and check him out. And so he thought everything was fine. Well, he gets a letter from the landlord that's saying that not only do they owe extra rent, but they're not returning their deposit and they're charging more for different situations in the apartment. Well, that wasn't right. And so my grandson, he moved from Ohio to Maryland. So they contacted the Maryland law firm, which then contacted the Ohio law firm, excuse me. And they wrote a letter on his behalf. Well, lo and behold, a week later, $650 came in a mail. in the mail for him, and everything was cleared up. So a lot of times when you have that, that strength from a legal situation, things can be handled really quickly. Contracts and document reviews. Again, that letter that they wrote for me in business, $500 just for a simple letter. And all of that's included. When I created the business owner's advocate, I wanted a contract for my clients. And so on the business side, and since I'm a home-based business, I got the home-based rider, which is $9.95 additional to the personal plan. And they wrote, they checked, they looked at the contract. They gave me some suggestions. I made those suggestions to make sure that it was legal for Utah, and it was taken care of. So it was very nice. And that was part of my membership. IRS audits. If you're, brought into an IRS audit, then you have, you can talk with the attorney, and they can also help represent you as well. If ever you're brought into a civil lawsuit, the one thing is that here again, I would have had I had this service back when I had my salon, and the situation that I had, that I would have been completely taken care of. I could call them on personal, issues. They would have made letters and phone calls on my behalf. And even with a trial defense, if there was anything brought against me, or I could have taken care of that. Family domestic. So, sadly, there's people going through divorce, maybe an adoption, a separation, or even a name change. I have a client that her son, he was born, and they had a certain name, but he goes by a completely different name. And so they got the service so that they could legally change his name and not have to pay a costly fee for that. And then, you can just upload your documents right from your phone and that. So it makes it very, very easy to do that. Traffic tickets. One thing I know is that once you get a traffic ticket on that goes against your insurance. Your insurance rates go up, and it goes up for anywhere from 3 to 5 years now. And so if LegalShield can help keep points off your record, they can't fix tickets, but if they can keep points off your record, then that's going to keep those insurance rates down. And that, so if you have, family, especially with teenage drivers and so forth, how expensive insurance can be. And then also, when you call your attorneys and that, they will call you back within 4 business hours. I've actually been on the phone talking with the manager at the law firm, and the attorney's calling me back, in 5 minutes. And so it's incredible, the service that you get. You truly are. They have white glove service. And then emergency access. So emergency access is anything, if you're being detained, if you're being questioned, you can call them, and during 365 days a year. So my granddaughter in college, she got into a car accident. It was a head-on hit and run, not her fault. And so she calls her mother. It's on a Saturday night, and my daughter hears one of the girls that was with her mother saying, "Well, this sounds like a lawsuit to me." My daughter said, "Hang up the phone, call the lawyer right away." So she called the law firm. They answered, and they said, "Before you say anything, before you talk with the insurance company on Monday, you make sure you call us first." And so she called the law firm, and they said, of course, make sure the girls are taken care of and there's not a problem. And they weren't. There was no problems. And so she called the law firm Monday morning, and they told her what to say when she talked with the insurance company, because the insurance company is recording everything that you say when you call them. So why is that important? Well, on a business and insurance, we had a client that one of his employees was driving a company truck, got in a wreck, was not her fault. But again, she talked with the insurance company. The insurance company said that they wanted to dispute it. And so the other driver, so they sent it to mitigation. Well, mitigation came back and said, okay, 50-50. Well, what did that mean? Okay, that meant that the client had to pay the deductible, which was a $500 deductible, to have his truck fixed. And it went as against a claim against his insurance, which will increase in insurance, and it wasn't his fault. But what was said, was recorded, and once it goes through mitigation, insurance companies, there's nothing they can do about it. So it's important to make sure that you have this service as well for your business. Right now, especially, we've just gotten through with COVID, and we're still going through it actually. One of the top Google searches was on how to prepare a will and get get those papers in order. And we always say a will is your last love letter to your family. Well, during this is part of your membership. Now, this is over anywhere from $800 to $1,200 service that you get right away with signing up. Not only do you get a will, but your spouse or partner gets a will, and any children over the age of 18 and under 26 can get their will done as well. So you get a will, living will, healthcare power of attorney, and a financial power of attorney done and prepared for you. And it's updated every year. So anything that I really haven't discussed is at a 25% member discount. So if it's pre-existing legal matters, bankruptcy, contested divorce, contested adoption, or even a DUI, anything like that. So you'll never pay full attorney fees again. So who's covered is the member's spouse or domestic partner, never married, dependents under the age of 26, or full-time students, dependents with whom you're the legal guardian up to the age of 18, and physically and mentally disabled children living at home. So which would you choose? Would you anywhere from 250 plus an hour? Or you can get LegalShield, and it's only $24.95 a month invested, and you get access to the national web network and law firms. And if you add the business supplement, then you would add $9.95 to that, so that your business is taken care of as well. So this, we also have, which is called the LegalShield Small Business Plan. And this is for companies that have first of all, we've got the small one, which is under 10 employees, under 50 employees, and under 100 employees. So if you have under 100, 50 and 100, then it's a certain price, $149. $89 for 50 to for 10 to 50 or 11 to 50, and $39 for 1 to 10 employees. You can have a certain amount of designated users. Business legal advice. So again, that unlimited advice on whether it's on payroll, if it's on immigration, if it's on taxes, if it's on business setup, entities, contract reviews again. You have all of that. They also have designated consultations. So if you want to talk with a patent attorney, my nephew is a patent attorney in California. They charge up to $1,500 an hour. Can you imagine just even saying hi, you've already spent a couple $100. So that's included. Contract and document reviews. Again, I had my contracts looked at. During insurance, when you're getting insurance, they want to make sure that you've got contracts, that you've got safety contracts, safety reviews and so forth set up. So you want to have that. A lease. I had a gentleman that was getting a restaurant, and he had a lease, and so we talked, and he was already getting some employees, so he bought the $39 package. And he says, I'm just going to have a look at the lease, and then I'm going to cancel because it's month to month, no contracts. And I said, I totally understand. I says, I hope you don't. I hope you see the value, but if you do, then that's your prerogative. Well, I called him a month later and I said, so how's it going? He says, I love the service. He said, actually, and we'll talk about member perks later, but he said, I used the member perks and saved over $150 on getting some racks for my kitchen. 3 years later, he still continues to have the membership. Why? Because the value that it brings to him and his business. Again, legal phone calls, debt collection letters. So, and one nice thing about this is if you sign up with a company that does debt collection, normally they take anywhere up to 35% of any debt that's collected. With ours, if they'll send out a letter, if any debt is collected, then 100% goes back to you. So we've had people save thousands and thousands of dollars and collect from debt, thousands and thousands of dollars. Then also we have on the upper, the middle and high legal plans, we also have trial defense. So if that's a concern in that, then you can always upgrade to one of the other plans. And then we also have, again, that 25% member discount. So let's switch gears and talk about identity theft. The one thing about identity theft is that if a company has identity theft, truly, they really never recover. If it's a small company, they're closed down. And so criminals don't want your money. They want your identity. They want every facet. With LegalShield, they have privacy management, reputation management, financial account monitoring, cyberbullying consultation monitoring and alerts. And they've also got $1 million identity fraud protection plan and full service restoration. LegalShield is the only company that will do full restoration. And they've also been around, and it's centered with LegalShield. So you can get your credit score. We've got the 3 bureau monitoring. And they monitor everything that you can think of. I have all my emails, even my old emails that I don't use. Any accounts, any credit cards, your driver's license, social security, your passport, all of these things are monitored, not only for you, but for your spouse and for your children up to the age of 18. And then you will get alerts. When we refinanced our home, as soon as they started the credit check, we got an alert that says, okay, do you know about these companies? Is this, are you okay? And if not, then you can hit that call LegalShield support, and you will have an investigator on the line, and they will walk you through the things that you need to do. And also, if they need to help, then you'll sign a limited power of attorney and they'll go to work for you. So here's some other things that they also cover. Again, we talked about the $1 million identity theft protection with the 3 bureaus. And so our licensed private investigators, they'll do whatever it takes, as long as it takes, to bring you back to pre-theft status. And again, they have an unlimited, they'll do whatever it takes, which is huge. Monitoring, consultation, and guidance. People are mining your information and then they sell it. Right. And that's how businesses get business leads, is through these mining companies that are mining all of your information. And so LegalShield will teach you how to keep your information private. They also have this dashboard that you can look at and review, and just to see where you're at. And they monitor all your social medias to let you know, we don't realize how much information, little Johnny goes to school. We take a picture and we've got the school behind the background and saying, we're so excited for little Johnny, going to school, first day at school. Well, guess what? Now these predators know what little Johnny looks like. They know what school he's going to, and they can find out all your information, and they can answer those questions, maybe those private questions that you have. And so it's so important to make sure that you and your family are protected. And then also you can get a score to see what your reputation is online and see how that looks as well. So again, who's covered is, we've got individual plans if you're not married or don't have children. And then we've also got the family plan. And then also we have member perks. So member perks, we work with over 400 different companies where you can get discounts anywhere from electronics, cars, auto parts, health and wellness. But also, I save money when I go to Office Depot or Home Depot and I've saved hundreds of dollars when I've gotten copies done, and that I love the member perks. You can even get groceries, a cell phone service. And literally I've saved more money than what my membership investment is. And so you can do the same thing if you will use your member perks to pay for your membership. So if you get both the LegalShield and the LegalShield for the family, it's only $54.90 a month investment. And truly, you can write that off. And again, $9.95 home-based business rider. Or if you're going just for the business plan, then you also get member perks as well. And then if you're an individual, it's $40.90 So thank you again. Here's my information. If you have any questions, and if you're looking and you can see the value of Legal Shield, I'd love to. I'll be honest. I'm an associate, and I do get a small commission by you signing up. And I would love to be also your servicing agent to make sure that you're always taken care of. I make sure that all of my clients, no matter where, if they're old, new, or just coming on board, I always want to stay in touch and want to make sure that I am that person that can help your life to be easier. So you can sign up with the Legal Shield benefits by going to lisamyers.wearelegalshield.com, or just contact me and I can walk you through it. Again, there's no contracts and it's month to month. So if you have any questions, I would love to chat with you. Have a great day. Bye.